From the Fed decision on interest rates, the odds are still somewhat split on whether we will get a quarter point or a half point cut. Joining us to discuss that and everything else over the next hour is Brent Beardall, the CEO of WaFd out in the West Coast. Brent, welcome. It's great to have you in-house, in studio today.
Tyler, great to be here. Kelly, great to see you.
You know, when the Fed cuts interest rates, it is often a sign that the economy is struggling one way or another. How do you see the U.S. economy right now? It doesn't feel like it's struggling particularly hard, and especially in your region of the country.
You know, I think the economy has been remarkably resilient, especially the consumer. If you look at just the dramatic nature of what the Fed had to do to get inflation under control, going from almost zero interest rates to 5.25%, everyone, including myself, right? And no one likes to admit when they're wrong. I was dead wrong. I thought for sure they were going to impact the labor market.
Me too. Hand up. I'm right there with you.
But it certainly looks like they are going to be able to pull off the soft landing, which is remarkable. So to answer your question specifically, the economy is doing very well. You look at the airports. We went to dinner last night in Manhattan. The restaurant was packed. There is activity. The consumer has remained remarkably resilient.
Not that they haven't been hurt by inflation. They feel it.
Oh, they feel it, but they feel it in the discretionary spending. The mandatory spending, right? The mortgages. We'll talk a little bit about our mortgage portfolio. That's where we deal with consumers. You still have delinquencies that are less than 0.5%. The consumer has just remained remarkably resilient. Who would have thought it?
I agree.
With rates going up that much.
A lot of people say it's home equity, and there's, we can dig into so many different aspects of this, but if rates come down and suddenly people can tap that home equity, how many trillions of dollars is that right now to draw upon?
It is huge. That's exactly right. And not only can they tap that home equity, but their credit card rates are going to go down, right? And we've already seen the move down in mortgage rates. Mortgage rates earlier this year were, 7.5%? Today, they're 6.10 to 6.25%. But what very few people are talking about is the spreads that you get on mortgages.
We were just asking about this with the CEO of Rocket, saying, shouldn't they already be sub 6 if we had normalized conditions? Who do you blame for this?
Yeah, well, that is the market being greedy, right? That is everyone in the market, including WaFd, everybody. Today, the spread on the 30-year mortgage is about 255 basis points.
Wow, 2.5 full points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Historically, it's been about 150 to 200 basis points.
Over the 10-year?
Over the 10-year. That's right, because you look at a 30-year mortgage and you think the duration in and out of the cycles is about 8 years. So you use a 10-year treasury as kind of the base.
Why do you say the banks are being greedy? I mean, you're kind of alluding to this is an arrangement that is benefiting everybody, but how do we kind of flip the script?
Well, it's because of the volatility. When there's volatility, everyone errs on the side of conservatism, and that's what's happening now. If we can get a clear sign that we're going into lower for longer rates, then I think you'll see that volatility come down, that spread come down. But we have been in the fearfulness of higher for longer. And that's what we needed to do. And there have been a lot of people that have been wrong. It doesn't look like higher for longer, right? What the Fed has done in terms of navigating what looks like a soft landing, to their credit, right? How many of us?
Don't jinx it now, I know.
How many of us, so you just go back 2 years, right? When the Fed had their head fake and they thought inflation was transitory. And we were all calling the Fed was wrong, the Fed is out of control. To Jay Powell's credit in the entire Federal Reserve, they have built credibility with the market. Who would have thought that they could get inflation to pull back? And one of the other things I really want to talk about is we're so focused on what is inflation today, and that's what everybody's focused on. But you talk to consumers, and with the election, you talk to the electorate, what are they worried about the economy? Inflation. Why? Because over the last 4 years, prices are up.
Their prices are up, and they have not come down.
They want deflation.
That's exactly right. And we are still getting adjusted to it when we go to the grocery store, when we go to the gas station. It is still shock and awe. I can't believe how much I'm having to pay for this.
Yeah.
So that is what I think everyone discounts. It says, hey, inflation is in check now, but really look at the last 4 years. In my lifetime, I've never seen it.
Absolutely.